Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video clips that I'm going to be showing you, okay, is a continuation from yesterday, from the video that I put out about all the times that Trump has been attacked or attempted attacks against him and assassination attempts. For some odd reason, yesterday, the videos that I put out that was that took place in Johnstown or Jonestown, Pennsylvania, where a man stormed the stage, trying to get over barricades to where the press was at, so he can try to get through from I'm assuming from behind the press that was in front of Trump, if I'm looking at it the right way. But he was tased and subdued. And as yesterday, like I said, that I was going to drop that video today, I'm doing it because now some new information has come out, okay? Not only about this, and if anybody remembers the video yesterday, the main crux of the video was of how the left and people on the left are always basically looking for trouble and or trying to start trouble or trying to like attack people on the right, hurt people, or whatever the case is. Okay, now I'm not putting this content together to blow a dog whistle and have anybody on the right go and think that I'm trying to advocate for like revenge or anything like that. No, this is so people can understand and exactly how the mainstream media, okay, is portraying information that's not true, and what it's doing, it's stoking more people, okay, especially people on their side, to be filled with so much hate and anger that all they want to do is attack people on the right, okay? And also to show, because there's a lot of people, a lot of liberals and Democrats and people on the left that leave me comments or email me, okay, and making it seem as if, you know what, none of this chaos is coming from them. So with me showing this kind of information, because you probably won't see it on a lot of news channels, especially the ones they probably watch, like MSNBC is not going to show it, that's for sure, that, you know what, stop believing what the Democrats are telling you and open up your damn eyes, okay, and see what's going on. And I say that because you would think it'd be all over the mainstream media as of today, but supposedly, and I'm going to show the video clips, the news, a man in Alaska was arrested because he's been sending hundreds of threats to the Supreme Court judges, okay, threatening to kill them, for them, you know, to be killed. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff, and you would not believe what happened in court, which we're going to get to when I show you, okay? So two things real quickly before I start, okay? Three things. Number one, is probably going to be another long video, so bear with me. Number two, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Also, I'm leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign. If you guys can help him and or leave words of encouragement and prayer, it's all greatly appreciated. The third thing is, I just dropped the video before this one because Loza Alexander dropped a new music video, okay? It's called Never Surrender. So I'll try to pin it at the end of my video so you guys can click on that if you want to go watch it. I did speak too soon for some odd reason. None of the music videos that I've done, I've never had commercials on them. YouTube has never put commercials on them. And when I put the video up before, I said that I wasn't going to put any commercials because I didn't know, you know, that YouTube would do that. And lo and behold, there are. So if a commercial comes on between that music video reaction, and if it disrupts it, I apologize. Like I said, I didn't know that YouTube did that because they never do it to any of the other music videos. There's always some copyright situation with it. So I never expected, but I guess it's a good thing in a way. But you know, it is what it is. But if you guys can go check that out, okay. So without further ado, I'm gonna start playing these clips so you guys can see. So just to give a little reminder, I showed yesterday the first Trump attempt when somebody tried to hurt him, which was that Hollywood actor. Okay, that was 8 years ago. Excuse me. The second one, okay, was in Butler, Pennsylvania. Okay, this would have been the third one that I'm going to show you now. The fourth one, okay, was at the rally last Thursday in Tucson, Arizona, where some of the people that were sitting to the right of him have come down with some sort with something that was sprayed because it's affecting their eyes and their eyesight and all that. So they're still in the hospital as far as we know. And then the fifth one was Sunday, which was the guy that they caught, Ruth, okay, hiding in the bushes at the the golfing area where he was at, okay, the golf course, okay. So everybody on the news is saying, oh, there's only been 2 attempts against Trump. No, that makes 5, okay. And like I said yesterday, that probably makes 4.5, because until they find out what happened to the people in Tucson, Arizona, we really don't know. But I can't look at all this information and say that it was somebody that had on some heavy damn perfume or cologne. Okay, I just refuse to believe anything like that. But we'll wait and see what happens with that. So without further ado, check this out. Here we go.
Almost 40 minutes into the speech, an unexpected incident.
And we won it in 2016, and we did much better in 2020, you know that.
Pittsburgh's Action News 4 alerted to a man appearing to storm the press area. In seconds, police and security pulled him down. As the crowd erupted, Trump said this.
That's beautiful. That's all right. That's okay. No, he's on our side.
The man removed and ultimately subdued with a police taser.
Okay, so that's that. That's a short clip. I'm going to show a longer clip. Here we go. Okay, as you read that, it says another man was later handcuffed and removed from the arena. Now, I know that some people are going to try to spin this around and be like, well, maybe he was trying to go after the press. Okay, I find that hard to believe because from what I've never been to a Trump rally, but from what I hear, people pretty much act civilized. That's number one. And Trump has always criticized the media. And what the people do in the crowd, all they truly do is laugh at the media and mock them, okay? If I had to guess, okay, I'm thinking that the man saw that security was lax in that area and probably figured if he can get through where the press is at, he can get through Trump. Because if anybody knows, the press is always in front of Trump, okay? Because Trump is always, pointing, go, turn around, look back there, look at all the media. So how they had this arena and the stage set up, it's anybody's guess. But it's funny how the media, nobody has really talked about this incident. Okay? And yet, they keep trying to tell people, oh, there's nobody's trying to attack Trump. Nobody's trying to attack Republicans or conservatives or whatever the case is. But these things happen. And instead of them calling out every single time, so like that, even people on the left could look at this and be like, wait a minute. Because when Trump got shot at Butler, Pennsylvania, that swayed a lot of people from the left to say, you know what, this is not some conspiracy theory that Trump has been, throwing out and telling people about. Because if it was, somebody would not be trying to take his life, and in the process wind up taking somebody else's life and causing harm to other people. Okay, so that's why I said, when I make my videos, I try to show a lot of content, because supposedly they say that people's attention span is no more than 15-20 minutes. So if that's the case, And if that's the way people on the left are seeing it, well, welcome to the channel and check out the information. Okay? And at the end of it all, if you can still sit there and think that Donald Trump and his supporters are the threat to democracy, then number one, you are totally ignorant, okay? And you get what you deserve when you vote Democrat, okay? Or two, you are part of the problem. And this is what you want, which makes you no better than the ones that are trying to bring down this country. And it definitely is not Donald Trump and his supporters. But let's continue.
Held up, I think, by different cranes. There were very big flags, beautiful flags that they were waving. And as that horrible event was taking place, the wind blew the flags together and they formed a perfect angel. I don't know if we have it, but it was a perfect angel that's formed. I'll tell you, a lot of things happen. If we haven't put it up, we're going to
Okay, so that was that. They wind up taking him into custody, and in all honesty, I haven't heard anything on the news, okay, since that incident, since the day it happened. I haven't heard anything on the news of what happened to that man or what the situation was, okay. Now, when Trump was on Greg Gutfeld a few nights ago, okay, and not only on Greg Gutfeld, he was on I forgot what other show he was on, and they asked him basically the same question. Like, how does that make you feel, you know, that people are trying to physically attack you and try to, you know, to assassinate you? And he said, basically, it is what it is, because he knows the people that he's going up against. Okay, he knew it from the beginning. That's why he decided to run for president, to break that political wickedness. Okay, like he was always saying, to clean the swamp. All right, and let me tell you something. Since 2020, the Democrats have pushed out so much vitriol. I mean, just so much hate and anger that there are people from all over, just, you know, with this animosity towards Trump and his supporters and America. Okay, for that matter, that the Democrats are living in this world and think that, you know what, it's fine. Okay, this is the way we want it. And you would think that more people, and even though there are a lot of people waking up that are noticing it, the more people are waking up, the harder they're pushing back to basically tell people, don't believe your lying eyes, listen to what we're saying. Trump is an existential threat to this country. MAGA Republicans are a threat to this country. America sucks. But yet they're saying we're a threat to the country, but they'll come out and say America sucks. That goes to show you that the damn wicked war, how can I say, it's definitely a demonic mindset. Okay, that's just set in wanting to destroy the country and destroy just humans, in my opinion. Because like I said before, I'll say it again, they don't care about illegal immigrants, they don't care about their own constituents, and they sure as shit don't care about anybody on the right. Okay, but let's get to the next video clip that I got to show you about a man in Alaska, okay, was arrested for making threats towards 6 of the Supreme Court judges, okay, and supposedly it's been going on for a while, where this man has sent hundreds, okay, of emails, and you would think they would have picked him up already, but now all of a sudden, they're picking him up, and it makes you wonder, why? If you ask me, it's all damn optics coming from the left, wanting to pick this man up. But let me show you the videotape. Here we go.
Alaska man has been indicted for allegedly threatening to torture and murder 6 Supreme Court justices and their families. The suspect, 76-year-old Panos Anastasio, pleaded not guilty. He's accused of sending more than 465 threatening messages. One of them, dated July 3rd, said, "We need mass assassinations." Another said the justices should, quote, "be very afraid to leave their home."
An Alaska man is charged with threatening to kill 6 members of the Supreme Court. An indictment accuses the 76-year-old suspect of sending 465 messages in an online portal to the court. He allegedly vowed to shoot and hang justices in messages described as racist and homophobic. They also included a threat to send fellow veterans to spray homes of the justices with bullets, quote, hopefully killing them. The suspect faces decades in prison if convicted.
Okay, so you've seen those two clips right there, okay? So supposedly this man is 76 years old, lives in Alaska, okay? He was making all these threats. You've seen in the first quick clip, he sent over 465 plus emails, messages, okay? Threatening the judges in the Supreme Court. But there's a little twist to all this, because they're saying that he went after the 6 Supreme Court justices that are conservative, okay? But then he also sent messages that were racist and homophobic, okay? And the reason why I bring this up is because I was like, well, is that their way of trying to spin this around? Because if you look at this video right here, you'll see that on his house, he has signs to support the Second Amendment and stuff like that, okay? But then one of his neighbors says that he had a hat on that was against Trump, that he would wear a hat that instead of saying "Make America Great Again," it was about, you know, just telling Trump to basically, you know, piss off, okay? So I was like, well, something still doesn't sound right. It almost sounds like they're going to try to spin this, you know, spin this around in some way, shape, or form, okay? Because it has not hit the news. Those news clips that I'm showing you, and this one here, this is all from Alaska. And I've only seen one more news clip that came from Fox, but that was on another content creator's channel, which I'm going to show you because he was able to track it down and put it together. And he found out something, okay? And the reason I want to bring it up, so pay attention, folks. I didn't grab your name. One of my subscribers sent me a message. As a matter of fact, 2 or 3 of them sent me messages mentioning about Act Blue. Okay, so supposedly this man has donated to Act Blue, but you're going to be very interested on what I show you about what was found about him donating to Act Blue. So let's get into this video and we'll get on to the next. Here we go.
As we come on the air at 6, breaking news. This video just into the newsroom showing the 76-year-old Anchorage man. Prosecutors say sent 6 U.S. Supreme Court justices and their family hundreds of death threats. That man telling our crew on scene that he is not guilty, a judge releasing him a short time ago with conditions. They do not include bail. Our political...
Do you believe that? The guy has sent over 465 messages threatening to kill the judges and their families. The judge presiding over the case released him, okay, with conditions, and that does not include bail. Now, if anybody remembers, and even though I showed you the video yesterday, but if anybody remembers Chuck Schumer, when Judge Kavanaugh was going to be sworn in, that little tirade that he threw on stage saying that, Kavanaugh, you're going to reap the whirlwind. That was a threat. Did they do anything about it? No, they didn't. Meanwhile, a kid drove all the way from California, who his sister had to call the police and say, my brother is basically like autistic or something to that effect. He's headed your way to go and try to kill Kavanaugh and his wife and 2 children. They did catch the guy without incident. The kid didn't give up, you know, put up a fight. But in his bag, they found rope, they found duct tape, they found knives. Basically, what he wanted to do was try to sneak into the house. He wanted to tie up Kavanaugh, his wife, and kids, and basically just butcher them. Okay? Thank God that his sister and the police stopped him and caught him. Okay? The reason why I bring that up, it's because when the Democrats spew so much hate that there are people out there who are not right in the head, and they're going to go out there and try to do something. Okay? This is why I make it perfectly clear as much as I can. I do not advocate any kind of violence, any kind of retribution, nothing like that. The way I see beating the Democrats and the leftists and the powers that be, keep exposing them because they're doing a very good job on their own. Okay? But when you have the Democrats, the leftists, the liberals, and they keep on and on and on and attacking and lying, you got people that it just resonates in whatever cells they have left in their brain, and then they want to go and take matters into their own hand. Okay? What I find really screwed up, but not surprising because I think it's all to show face, is that they let him send over 400 messages, okay? And not one of the messages was good enough for them to go and get this man. Okay? But it's funny how right before the election, Kamala wants to shut the border. They're rounding up illegal aliens and illegal alien criminals and trying to send them back to their countries. They're cracking down on people like this man right here. I wonder why. Because something else tells me that if this was last year, and if I have to guess, it probably was stemming since last year. Okay, we'll find out that they didn't do anything. That it wasn't deemed a threat. But meanwhile, you have people that were outside the Capitol, not even near the Capitol, and since they took facial recognition surveillance, they still went and were able to track people down, okay, for just being at the rally in front of the Capitol. And right now they're serving time in the gulags in Washington, D.C. So those were threats. Those were people that were there, never once threatening any political official, just there for the rally, okay, for the protest, whatever you want to call it. But yet this man is sending hundreds of messages threatening violence and or death. And now all of a sudden he gets picked up, but then the judge lets him go? Remember, I always say, whatever the Democrats touch, turn to shit. And if I have to guess, in all honesty, okay, the powers that be in Alaska are bluecoats. But let's continue.
Reporter Steve Kirch breaks down the indictment after also talking with one of the suspects.
Oh, and if I'm wrong, it's probably definitely some rhino Republican. Okay? That's just the way I see it.
Ex-neighbors.
Yes, Rebecca, Panos Antonio's neighbor describing a very different man from the man prosecutors described making 465 threats to U.S. Supreme Court justices and their families. Here on this quiet block in Anchorage is where Panos Anastasio lives. Signs around his house show support for the Second Amendment rights and his love for his dogs.
Oh, he's a nice fella. I mean, he's always been, he's a real animal lover. And he cares about the animals and takes care of his dogs and everything.
So he was arrested for threatening U.S. Supreme Court justices and their family members. You're kidding? I didn't know.
Yep.
His neighbor says he and Anastasio never discussed politics, and all he knew about his beliefs were his hat.
I did see him with the anti-Trump hat. So, yeah, the opposite of a MAGA hat.
On Thursday morning, the 76-year-old who is facing 22 criminal counts after prosecutors say he sent 465 threatening messages to 6 Supreme Court justices, he asked a federal judge for a conditional release. The judge granted the release on the following conditions. He surrender his passport, restrict travel to Anchorage, avoid contact with those listed in the indictment, disclose all social media identifiers, and avoid using internet devices. Additionally, no bail needs to be posted for this case. Today in court, we found out that Anastasio is a former Vietnam veteran and is being treated for throat cancer. He also has made comments in the past that his dying wish was to have some of these government officials assassinated. In closing, the judge said he found Anastasio's comments concerning because the judge said he used an ideology of racism, homophobia, and violence to defend the U.S. Constitution against threats to democracy, which the judge said included the intent to assassinate 2 Republican justices and create a Democratic-leaning Supreme Court majority.
Did you hear that? I'm going to play it real quick. One more time.
Because the judge said he used an ideology of racism, homophobia, and violence to defend the U.S. Constitution against...
He used an ideology of racism, homophobia, and violence to defend, listen to it one more time,
comments concerning. because the judge said he used an ideology of racism, homophobia, and violence to defend the U.S. Constitution against threats to democracy.
Against threats to democracy. Who keeps using that type of ideology, that mindset, racism, homophobia, threats, get out there and make them feel uncomfortable, get in their faces, to do what? To protect the Constitution and democracy. And yet, the left still says everybody on the right and Trump are the threat to democracy. We're racist. We're homophobe. So now you got a 76-year-old man who the judge let go but was concerned. So if you were so damn concerned, why the hell did you let him go? Because he doesn't have to make it into Washington to the Supreme Court to hurt somebody. Okay, and I'm not trying to wish it into existence. But what's to say that if he doesn't get his dying wish to kill politicians, Republican politicians, or whatever the case is, that he's going to go and take it out on some civilian out on the street? But even though the judge felt uncomfortable about this man and his ideology, they still let him go. So now that he can't really travel and go anywhere, and he has throat cancer, how do we know that he's not going to start thinking, well, you know what? I can't go anywhere. What else can I lose? And then he goes and hurts an innocent person because the left keeps saying, you're racist, you're homophobe, the judges are racist, the judges are homophobe, Donald Trump's racist, MAGA's racist, they're homophobe, they're a threat to democracy, they're a threat to democracy, they're a damn threat to democracy. See what I'm saying? And you would think that the mainstream media will put this out, but they didn't. And if I had to guess why they didn't, it was because of this piece right here that I just played. Alaska put it out. No offense to those people in Alaska, but they probably don't get that much news like this. So they're gonna put this out to warn people. But besides Fox, I haven't seen nothing on MSNBC, CNN, CBS, none of that. Because something tells me, okay, that if they do, and he comes out, and this word gets out, and he starts saying that he was going after the judges and all that, okay, because they're racist and homophobe or whatever the case is, that right there will show them who is the party that keeps using those terms, those trigger words that they like to say. Think about that. Okay, but then I found out something else. And I was watching earlier when I was looking at some of this information, and I came across, I don't know if anybody knows the channel Liberal Hive Mind, and he put out something a little more in depth that will catch your attention also. So here we go.
Look, authorities have picked up an Alaska man. The Department of Justice says the man threatened to injure and kill 6 U.S. Supreme Court justices and some of their family members. He didn't like the decisions they were making. So this is what he wanted to do, allegedly. A DOJ source is telling Fox it's likely those threats were directed toward the 6 conservative members of the court. And here's what we know. The suspect...
Let me stop it real quick. It's funny, they say a DOJ source. They always have sources, okay? So you mean to tell me that a source told you this, but yet the 465 plus messages he sent didn't like specify anything like that? You gotta say that a DOJ source? Shouldn't you guys have picked up on it on the first damn message this man sent? You had to wait 465 plus messages later to now come out and say that it was a DOJ source that gave you a little more insight? Really? Okay.
Back to 76 years old and sent more than 465 messages through a public website maintained by the court.
Right.
In focus now, Carrie Urban on this breaking news, Fox News legal editor. So we're getting some more details about this, Carrie. I first of all want to hear from you on this case.
Well, we don't know yet if it is the 6 conservative justices, but Harris, as you pointed out, we do have a source telling us that we can read between the lines, and it's probably safe to assume that it is.
You know, like I keep saying in these videos, we've made so many at this point, there seems to be a desensitization element here, where, you know, in the past, a story like this would be shocking, holy freaking crap. It's now just become normal. And that right there is crazy, because I kept saying in the intro, you know, how many times does something have to happen for us to start having a conversation, for it to be a trend? Well, here we are. Is this not enough? Attempted assassinations of the former president of the United States, attempted violent acts targeted Republican candidates, Republican Supreme Court justices. I mean, it goes on and on and on. We've seen it so many times that at this point it's like, well, it happened again. Another mysterious package mailed to President Trump's home with mysterious powder. Another person.
Oh, did anybody hear about that? A mysterious package was sent to Trump's home with some mysterious powder. That wasn't on the news. So I guess we can throw that into the mix again.
Arrested for threatening online violence, another person arrested, or having their plot thwarted to commit a violent act targeting Supreme Court justices. How many times have we seen this? We've seen it a countless amount of times. None of it is surprising anymore, and obviously we know exactly what's going on here. The DOJ's indictment doesn't specifically name the justices that were threatened, but they do state that it was 6 justices in particular that were the target of this online harassment and threatening campaign. Well, let's extrapolate that a little bit. 6 justices. The Supreme Court has a 6-3 conservative majority. I wonder what the context is here. Obviously, the DOJ is doing their best to keep it all under the rug. They're trying so hard to maintain their precious narrative that the greatest threat to the homeland is MAGA extremism and white nationalist violence. But there's so much focus on this supposed threat of white nationalism and MAGA extremism, but no actual concrete examples. Meanwhile, here we go.
Another one.
Frickin' another one. I mean, it's DJ Khaled in the frickin' house, folks. Another violent leftist arrested. This individual goes by the name of Panos Anastasiou. Unfortunate for all the Greeks out there. I'm one of them. Another crazy Greek leftist has been arrested. But anyways, we got the guy's name. It's a very unique Greek-sounding name in the state of Alaska. Let me tell you, there's only one Panos Anastasiou in probably all of Alaska, and of course, very quickly searching his name in the FEC logs, allegedly this individual is a regular contributor to Act Blue.
Look at that, people. This is what I'm talking about. Look at how many times he has donated to Act Blue. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys caught it over here. He's going to explain it, okay? But I'll read this real quick. Washington, an Alaska man was arrested yesterday in Anchorage for allegedly threatening to injure and kill 6 U.S. Supreme Court justices and some of their family members. According to court documents, between March 10th of 2023 and July 16th of this year, okay, from what I've heard, even though it doesn't say here, but it says Panos, whatever, 76 sent over 465 messages to the Supreme Court through a public website the court maintained. Since last year, a year and a half, almost a year and a half already, this man has been under the radar, and now he's getting arrested. And not only did he get arrested, they still let him go, basically under his own recognizance. Just because he can't travel out of Alaska doesn't mean a damn thing. There's a lot of people that don't leave Alaska for a long period of time due to like different seasons and stuff like that. They just stay hunkered down. So if this man is an Alaskan native, he knows what it is to just stay there and vegetate. He doesn't care to leave. But will it stop him? Okay? Will it stop him from acting out against somebody that lives in Alaska, okay, that is a Trump supporter, conservative, Republican, whatever have you? Let's continue.
You in probably all of Alaska, and of course very quickly searching his name in the FEC logs, allegedly this individual is a regular contributor to Act Blue. Play the only appropriate meme here.
Yep.
I mean, wow, who would have seen this one coming? I mean, it's just crazy. This is the second individual in the span of roughly a week who's linked to the two same things. The first being plotting to commit a heinous, violent act, a horrible act of political violence, and the second thing, an Act Blue donator. I wonder if those two things go together. Obviously they do. And this comes a couple years after another assassination attempt targeting Justice Brett Kavanaugh was attempted, or rather was thwarted before the attempt.
A California man has been charged with the attempted murder of U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He was arrested early Wednesday morning near Kavanaugh's Maryland home, the site of recent protests by abortion rights advocates. The individual, identified by police as 26-year-old Nicholas Roski, was armed with a handgun and planned to kill the conservative justice, according to authorities. He was reportedly voicing distress about the expected reversal of a landmark decision legalizing abortion nationwide.
Yet it's a complete media blackout. On all the mainstream sources that aren't Newsmax, Fox News, or others, which is frankly the majority of them, not even a single word on this issue. They don't even have this conversation. But they went on and on and on for years, claiming that Donald Trump was inciting violence. Donald Trump's rhetoric caused an insurrection. Some people go as far to state that he led a violent insurrection. In fact, the current Democratic presidential nominee uttered that exact lie on the stage the other night.
I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital.
There's this whole idea that Donald Trump is inciting violence. Meanwhile, this is what's happening out in the open. You know, you have these instances that have nothing to do with Donald Trump, but somehow they'll link it to Trump and they'll blame him directly, like I always say. He tells people to go home, protest peaceably, do not go into the Capitol, and they claim that he said, engage in a violent insurrection, overthrow the Capitol building. You know, they say that he says the opposite of what he actually said.
Exactly.
Misrepresent the reality. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer not too long ago said this.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
And I'm going to leave it at that because I cannot stand this man's voice. Okay? I said it once and I'll say it again. This man is the king of the den of vipers. Okay? In Washington. Okay? This man is he is the snake, let's just put it that way. The snake of a man. Because I'm going to play this little piece right here so you guys understand what I'm saying. I know I said I don't want to hear his voice, but listen, if anybody remembers this little tidbit that he said, okay, listen to the way he talks.
And you will pay the price.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
You see, that right there, that little piece right there. You take on the intelligence organization, they will take you apart six ways from Sunday. If that is not evil coming out of a man's mouth, he's basically threatening every single person, okay, in the country. Doesn't matter what party you come from. He is basically saying, you come against us, we're going to take you apart. So we basically are going to do whatever the hell we want. Okay? And that is who the Democrats align with. People that destroy. Okay? Just like I said, I'll say it again. The guy on the Joe Rogan show that came out and said that the Democrat Party is the party of death. They want abortion, they want destruction, they want wars, they like to threaten, they incite their own. So like that, when they catch one of those weak-minded people, they just want to go, and the one thing that wants to come out of them, I gotta go kill somebody. I gotta go kill one of these people because they are an existential threat to our democracy. And yet, they want to call themselves patriotic Americans. It's incredible, people. It's really, really incredible. And like I said, I don't put out this information for anybody on our side, okay, to go and hurt anybody. No, that's not how you win this battle. They are exposing themselves. Has anybody realized lately? Look at all the exposure that's coming up from the left. Look at all the chaos that's being exposed. Look at the celebrities that are being exposed, okay? They're doing it themselves. They're exposing themselves, and they're basically They're the ones destroying themselves. But like I said it once, I'll say it again. Again, I'll say it. Okay? The Democrats eat themselves. We really don't have to do much, but just sit back and point it out. Because they show it. Okay? But we just got to remind people and say, you see? In case you missed it, in case you're being hypnotized by their words, listen to my voice now. Open your eyes, look at what they're doing. Okay, because I've noticed a lot of these politicians on the left, when they talk, it's almost as if they're trying to freaking hypnotize you by repeating the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. It's almost as if they're trying to hypnotize people. And in all honesty, it's working. Okay? But the enemy has a sweet tongue. But people, in my opinion, I never really used this word before, but I hear a lot of people use it, saying that if you have discernment, you pray for discernment, God will open up your eyes and your ears. He will open up that brain, that beautiful brain that He's given everyone. It just depends how you're going to use it. It's either for good or for bad. Choice is yours. We see who's using it for bad. Okay? So to all you leftists out there that keep leaving me messages and stuff like that, look at all this information and don't even listen to me. If you really want to know, go look up the information yourself. Something tells me that you're not. Because ignorance is bliss. And that's what you like. You like to be ignorant because you want to fight. Okay? And then at the end of the day, try to tell yourself, I'm a good person. Really? Really? And you voted in one criminal. You're voting in a dingbat of a woman, or you're trying to vote her in because she's destroying it herself. Okay? While trying to tell everybody that we're the threat and you people on the right side of history. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. If you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And I'm leaving the link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign again. So if you guys can help him and or leave him words of encouragement and prayer, that'd be great for him. Also, like I said, the video clip that I got was from Liberal Hive Mind. If you guys heard of him, if you haven't, go check him out. Show him some love. His channel's been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, he used to be a lefty until his eyes were opened and he just said, you know what, I'm done. And he joined, okay, the right side in history. Let's put it that way. Okay. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. Once again, please pray for Loza Alexander, that God will heal him and get him better. And don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.